Today is Friday, July 5th. What to know today about the 2020 census, the president's 4th of July celebration, and the strongest earthquake to hit Southern California in 2 decades. Plus, a new feature on FaceTime, which movie service is shutting down, and which singer will star in the new version of Little Mermaid. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in less than 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Well, it seems President Trump is not giving up the idea of adding a citizenship question to the 2020 census, at least not yet. President Trump says he's going to find a legally acceptable way to include the question, are you a U.S. citizen, on the census next year, which goes out every 10 years to collect population data. It seems to be a change from what we heard earlier this week when officials said it was a done deal and printing has started without that addition. Remember, the U.S. Supreme Court blocked the Trump administration from making the change, saying so far there wasn't a good enough reason. The case was sent back to a lower court. But the president then tweeted Wednesday that they're still moving forward with adding the question. Cue the confusion. Now a judge gave the Trump administration until today to confirm one way or the other. Trump and other supporters say it's a common sense, important question. Critics say it might keep undocumented immigrants from filling out the survey, which will then make the results less reliable. So, to be continued. Mixed reactions to this year's 4th of July celebration in Washington, D.C. This year's event was a bit different for a few reasons. Remember, military tanks and vehicles were on display, there were military aircraft flyovers, and the president gave a 45-minute speech. Thousands of people showed up to hear President Trump talk. The Washington Post reports his speech focused on celebrating America's history and military, and it included a call for unity. But there were also protesters who showed up. Some say it was Trump's way of making the day about himself, and critics called the military display a waste of taxpayer dollars. The Wall Street Journal says the Pentagon expects to have cost estimates next week at the earliest. A powerful earthquake hit Southern California yesterday, the strongest quake SoCal has seen in 20 years. ABC News reports a 6.4 magnitude earthquake hit in a remote area about 150 miles north of Los Angeles. But an estimated 15 million people felt some shaking from LA to Las Vegas. Near the epicenter, there were some injuries reported, though so far nothing serious. And it did cause some damage, like downed power lines and a couple house fires. The LA Times cites an expert who says there's a small chance this earthquake was a foreshock of an even bigger one to come in the next few days. But either way, officials say it's a good reminder to be prepared. At last check, a fire at a Jim Beam warehouse is still burning. The warehouse had 45,000 barrels of bourbon in it. And now there's an environmental concern. The fire started Tuesday night at a warehouse in Kentucky and continued to burn for days. Officials haven't decided yet if they'll let the flames burn out on their own or if they'll spray them with water. They say if they spray the rubble, it could wash the bourbon into a nearby creek, which then flows into the Kentucky River. Thousands of gallons of bourbon have already spilled into the waterways, and that runoff could have an impact, like killing a lot of fish. Expect a decision about how to move forward in a day or two. It's still not clear what caused this fire, but early reports say it could have been a lightning strike. As for the bourbon itself, Jim Beam says the fire destroyed only about 1% of the company's inventory. The 106th Tour de France starts Saturday in Brussels. It's a 2,000-mile bike race that lasts more than 20 days and ends in Paris. The BBC reports 4-time champion Chris Froome won't be racing because of an injury, but his team is still a frontrunner to win. 10 to 12 million fans are expected to line the route to watch the cyclists. Also this weekend, the World Cup final. The U.S. women's soccer team is just one win away from its 4th World Cup title and its 2nd in a row. The U.S. will play the Netherlands in the final on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And finally, the famous 4th of July hot dog eating contest. 2 defending champs won yesterday. CNN says Joey Chestnut won the men's contest for the 12th time. He ate 71 hot dogs in 10 minutes. He fell short of his record, though, when he ate 74 hot dogs last year. On the women's side, Miki Sudo won again for the 6th straight time. She ate 31 hot dogs. Both winners get $10,000 in prize money. More than 1 million people tuned in to ESPN to watch this year's competition. ESPN has broadcast Coney Island's international event since 2004. More news ahead, but first I want to thank today's sponsor, Skillshare. Have you tried it yet? Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of amazing classes covering dozens of skills, with classes in everything from photography and creative writing to productivity and entrepreneurship. I love learning when it comes to my career as well as my personal life, and I think it's so important no matter what we're doing. So whether you want to try out something new or want to improve your skills at a longtime passion, Skillshare has classes for you. It's all online and on demand, so it fits your schedule. I've already watched a couple of classes that have helped me improve my systems for my business, and I have several more videos on my playlist. So join millions of other students learning on Skillshare, and get this, the Newsworthy listeners get a special offer for 2 months free. Yep, Skillshare is offering the Newsworthy listeners 2 months of unlimited access to thousands of classes for free. So to sign up, go to Skillshare.com/newsworthy. Again, that's Skillshare.com/newsworthy to start your 2 months now. Skillshare.com/newsworthy. Now back to the news. Apple is testing a new feature on FaceTime to try and make calls feel more personal. TechCrunch reports it's called FaceTime Attention Correction. It reportedly makes it look like you're making eye contact with the person you're FaceTiming with, even if you're actually looking down at the screen and not directly into the camera. The Verge reports Apple is likely using image manipulation to somehow change the way your eyes look to make it appear like you're making eye contact. The feature is being tested in the beta version of the new iOS software, but for now, it's just a test, so TBD if it becomes a permanent feature for everyone. It could be the first Uber service with no driver. But we're not talking self-driving cars yet. This is for Uber Eats. Uber Eats is testing what's called Dine. Basically, customers can pre-order food on the app and then go and eat at the restaurant they ordered from. And since you'll need to take yourself to that restaurant, there's no driver involved, which also means no service or delivery fee with the Dine-In option. Right now, Dine-In is being tested in Austin, Dallas, Tucson, and San Diego. We'll see if it works and expands to more cities. Well, it seems Facebook and Instagram are now back up and running, but the social media apps were not running properly for the majority of the day Wednesday. CNET reports people had problems loading pictures and videos, viewing Instagram stories, and sending messages on Facebook and WhatsApp. So if you noticed it, it wasn't just you. Facebook blames the issue on routine maintenance, but everything should be fixed by now. The movie theater subscription service MoviePass is now shut down, at least for the next several weeks. Variety reports the company blames technical issues and says it's working on a new version of the app. Remember, MoviePass has had plenty of problems as the company is running low on money. During this shutdown, subscribers will not be charged, and for now, MoviePass is not accepting any new subscribers. The movie Spider-Man: Far From Home did well at the box office over the 4th of July holiday. Variety reports the superhero movie grossed $27 million in North America on Wednesday, a record for any title in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Hollywood Reporter says Spider-Man: Far From Home picks up after the movie Avengers: Endgame, which was incredibly popular, so that's likely giving it a boost. Also in movie news, we now know Disney's upcoming live-action remake of Little Mermaid will star actress and singer Halle Bailey as Ariel. Bailey is best known from the R&B duo Chloe and Halle. The film is expected to be released next year. And that's it. You are ready to go. Thank you so much for listening. And if you got value out of today's episode, I would so appreciate it if you share this with your friends and tell them about the Newsworthy. Remember, I always provide stories, sources, and links for you in today's show notes, in your podcast app, or over on thenewsworthy.com in case you want to read more about something we talked about. Just go to thenewsworthy.com, click episodes, and look for today's date. The Newsworthy is ready for you to listen every weekday by 4 in the morning. I'll be back with more news on Monday. Have a great weekend.